Hello viewers, welcome to today's episode of the Real Estate Talk with Landlady Jane. On the show today, we are going to be talking about guide to buying property in Nigeria and what you need to know. Actually, buying property in Nigeria can be very complex, but with a little knowledge and guide, you'll be able to navigate the risks and the tax that comes with it. Now, what is the first step to buying a property? Of course, you know your very first step is making up your mind that yes, it is time to invest and other things follows. Yeah. First step you need to do is research and planning. First of all, you need to go through research, define your purpose of buying buying properties. Why are you buying? Are you buying for commercial? Are you buying for residential? Are you buying for agriculture? Are you buying for industrial and all that? You have to define your purpose of buying. That is number one on the first step. Then your second step is location. What is your location? Where do you want to buy this property? In what state? What is the geographical zone, the political zone you want to buy these properties from? Yes, then when you're talking about location, we also consider accessibility, security, and amenities. Don't forget, on the last show we talked about infrastructural development, and these are things one need to consider when buying a property. Then when we are done with that, then we'll talk about your budget. What is your budget? Of course, there is a property for every budget, and your budget determines the location of where you are going to get this property, because you can't expect to get a property of 1 million in a developed area where people are already living. It's not possible unless they want to do some left-handed things for you. So your budget is also something to be considered when you're buying a property. Yes. And then also determine when you're considering your budget, you also consider the other charges. Yes, additional charges that comes with buying property. That is documentation, development fee, survey fee. Those things are under documentation. Then you consider the development fee in the property you're buying, because most of us don't really buy the idea of paying development fee when you're buying a property. But it is a very good thing that after buying your property, you pay for your development fee, so that property will start developing immediately. Believe me, that wherever you're living today, well, if it was never an estate and maybe you're trying to make it look like an estate, every landlord there is paying development fee. I know the area where I live, we pay development fee. That is because it has not been paid, and there is need for us to develop the area where we are living. So that's the same thing you're doing when you're buying a piece of real estate. You're buying a piece of land in an estate. There's need for you to pay your development fee. Yes, those are the things you need to consider when you are putting down your budget. How much land do you want? How much is going to be your documentation? And how much will be your development fee? Which you may not need to pay immediately, but you have to try as much as possible to pay at least within 1 year of purchase, so that estate will start experiencing development. Then that's the step one, and step two will now come to understanding the land type. Yes, when you must have defined your purpose, select your location and your budget, then you come down to understanding the land type. What type of land do you want to buy? Government allocated land, family land, private land. That's things you also need to consider while investing in property in Nigeria. Consider the land type. Do you want a C of O? You want an incision land? You want a gazetted land? You want a registered survey, which you will also need to go and perfect it and perfect. When you get a registered survey, you also need to go and perfect the documentation. At least get a C of O for your property. You want a family land? Do you have the power? Do you have the knowledge? Are you smart enough to deal with families and their many steps and all that. Then you want the private land. Those are lands owned by companies or individual. Yes, if those are the type of property you want, then that's when you start looking for estate developers who are actually in the business of selling property. Now the step 3, when you are done with these things, we now talk about step 3, that is verifying the land ownership. It's not all about just knowing who actually is the land, where actually you're buying from. You're buying from family, you need to verify the ownership. You're buying from private, you're buying a private land, you need to verify it. If you're even buying from government, you need to verify. So step 3, number 1 on the step 3 is verification. Yes, you have to ensure that the seller has a valid document. The document they are showing you is valid. Make sure that the property they are selling for you is it has a valid document. Yes. Then we now talk about land documentation. Verify that the land has the correct and the appropriate document. At least it has a deed of assignment, it has a survey, and it has a plan, and also tax clearance. In case of property that is already acquiring a tax, you have to verify that the tax clearance is actually up to date, so you don't go and incur other people's debts on you. Then you go for search. When you have collected all these things, you go for research. Make sure the things are in order. They they don't give you fake documents. Of course, we all know that there are documents that are fake. AI can help us these days to manipulate anything, so you don't just go and collect documents and you pay. Please, you have to go for verification, go for research, and allow the government to do their work before you begin to buy. Then the step 4 is the due diligence. Due diligence including the physical allocation, boundary verification, encumbrances, making sure that there is no encumbrances, no outstanding debt, there's no lien placed on the land. Yes, that is this number step 4 of your steps. The step 4 of your guide in what you do. Due diligence is one of them. All what we have been saying here are all due diligence. Yes, but then physical inspection, boundary verification, and encumbrances. Boundary verification always apply to estate developers who are actually buying a family land. They need to do all this before they can buy. If you don't know boundaries, family boundaries, community boundaries, and all that, you don't have to rush to go and pay for a property when you have not verified, when you are not clear about it, because these things bring disputes in the future. These things it hinders your business. These things they cause encumbrances. So as an estate developer, you need to go and find out, do a boundary verification on a property you're buying, family boundaries and community boundaries, and all those things. So make sure there is no outstanding debts on the land, on the said land you are actually buying. And then you go for purchase process, of which that is the final stage of this guide. Your purchase, when you must have done all these things, then your purchase process agreement, execute a proper agreement, a proper sales agreement, aligning all the terms and conditions. Yes, and the both parties comes together and sign, because there's an agreement that is bounding the both of you together, which everybody has to abide to. You don't have to come out one day and say, no, I agree to this and I don't agree to this. By writing down this agreement and all these things, and everybody agree to it, that is number 1 step. And then payment option. While paying for a property, make sure you are paying through a bank. Don't go there giving them cash and all that, because it is going to affect you when they come up with you didn't buy and you bought or you didn't buy, because you have no trace of the money you gave to them. So one good advice I give you is make sure you are doing your transaction in a secure channel, like the bank. Do a bank transfer, do a bank deposit. They should bring an account. Even if you have the money in cash, let them bring an account. You pay in the money and then get a receipt for the money you have paid. At least there should be a backup on your end. You that is bringing out, giving out money should have a backup, that by using the bank actually to make this transaction. And then documentation follows. Ensure that all documents are well documented. Make sure you collect your receipt of sale. Make sure you collect your contract of sale. Make sure you collect your deed of assignment and then your survey. These are the 4 things you need, because you will need them while going to perfect your documentation. While trying to get your C of O, you need these documents to get it, and also other things like tax clarification and all that. So that is it for us on the show today. Remember, we are still talking about guide to buying properties in Nigeria. We had step 1 to 5, which we already mentioned here, and we have research, planning, location, budget under step 1, and in step 2 we have understanding the land types. What type of land do you want? Government land, family land, private land. That is step 2 of what you need to know. And then step 3, verification of land ownership. You have to ensure that the seller has a valid title for the land they are selling. Then land documentation, verify that the land document includes deed of assignment, survey, plan, tax, and then other tax clearance. And then if there's other things you need, they should be able to provide. Then research. Go for research. Go to the land authority and research for the land you are buying. Then the step 4, we have the due diligence, like the physical inspection, boundaries verification, and also encumbrances. And the step 4 is the buying, the purchase process. Yes, the purchase process, where you have to write an agreement, pay through a verified and a secured channel, and then documents. Collect all your documents so that you can perfect the ownership of the property you are buying. So that is it all for today. Thank you for watching, and if you have watched till this end, please send me a DM, because I have a special gift for you. Don't forget, I'm still Landlady Jane, and you can also get me on TikTok at Landlady Jane, on YouTube at Landlady Jane, and of course on Instagram at Landlady Jane. Please do like and share and comment on this. If there's anything you want us to treat, don't forget to put it down on the comment section. If there's anything you want us to change about this program, please don't forget to put it down on the comment section. And my phone number still remains +234 806034 3102. I repeat again, +234 806036 3102. And until I come again your way next week, thanks for watching me today. Bye.